My child, my beloved, listen to me closely. This is not a random moment and not a random message, and the fact that you are here right now is already proof that heaven is still holding the door open for you. I, Archangel Michael, am calling you right now, and I am calling you with urgency and with love, because there is a turning point standing so close to you that one more delay could make you miss what was meant to finally reach your hands. Before you read further, do one small thing that keeps this light connected: subscribe, stay with this channel, and keep your heart open, because these messages are not entertainment, they are reminders for your soul, and I do not want you to return later and whisper, "I wish I had stayed." My beloved, the door does not close because God stops loving you. The door closes when you keep walking past the knocking as if it is nothing, when you keep treating divine timing like it will wait forever. My child, my beloved, I need you to feel this with your spirit. Heaven has been trying to reach you in quiet ways, through repeated signs, through strange delays that protected you, through sudden thoughts that came out of nowhere, through dreams you could not fully explain. And you may have thought, it is just my mind, but I tell you the truth, your life has been surrounded by unseen help, and not because you are perfect, but because you are chosen to rise again. Yet there is a moment when even help becomes silent, not as punishment, but as a mirror, because God will not force you to receive what you keep rejecting. My beloved, I am not here to scare you, I am here to wake you, because the next season needs a different version of you, and that version is born the moment you stop ignoring what is holy. My child, my beloved, let me speak plainly, a door is open over your name. It is not a small door. It is not a temporary crack in the wall. It is a real opening, an approval, a clearing, a divine permission for your life to move forward in a way it has not moved in a long time. You have felt stuck, and at times you have wondered if you are cursed, but listen, what felt like a curse was often a pause, and what felt like rejection was often redirection. There are things you begged for that would have broken you if they came too early. Now heaven is saying, you are strong enough. My beloved, do you understand what this means? This means that what once was delayed can now arrive suddenly, fast, clean, surprising, like a miracle that makes you sit down and whisper, "So God really did remember me." My child, my beloved, I must warn you gently, the enemy does not only attack with pain, sometimes it attacks with distraction. It does not always send storms, sometimes it sends sleep, laziness, doubt, endless scrolling, and a heavy feeling that makes you say, "Later." And later becomes weeks. And weeks become months. And months become a habit of ignoring your own destiny. My beloved, this is why I am calling you right now, because I have seen what is trying to pull your focus away right at the moment the blessing is near. Some of you are one decision away from breaking a cycle, but you keep giving your energy to people who drain you, to fears that do not feed you, to stories that do not heal you. I am calling you back to the center. Back to God. Back to your own power. My child, my beloved, there is something you need to know about the doors of heaven. They open when faith becomes action. They open when you stop saying, "I believe," and start living like you believe. Even if you are shaking. Even if you are tired. Even if you have been hurt. My beloved, heaven has watched you survive things you never thought you would survive. You smiled in front of people while your heart carried silent battles. You kept going when you had no support. You carried responsibilities that were heavy, and you did it quietly. And now, because you did not give up, a reward is being prepared, not a fake reward, not a temporary high, but a lasting shift that brings peace, clarity, protection, and a new level of favor. But I say it again, my beloved, if you ignore this call, the door does not remain open forever. My child, my beloved, I am speaking to the part of you that is tired of repeating the same year again and again. The same problems with different dates. The same disappointments with different faces. The same promises that never turn into reality. Listen to me, this is not your destiny. This is not where your story ends. But you must stop living like you have endless time. Some blessings require readiness, and readiness is not only prayer, it is alignment. It is cleaning your mind. It is removing what blocks your peace. It is walking away from what keeps you small. It is forgiving what you keep carrying. It is choosing discipline over mood. My beloved, when you align, miracles don't have to fight to reach you, they flow. My child, my beloved, here is what I see in the spirit, a hidden pressure you have been carrying, like a weight on your chest, like a constant, what if? You have been worrying about money, about stability, about the future, about family, about health, about respect, about being misunderstood, about whether life will ever feel soft again. And you have been strong, but strength without rest becomes silent suffering. My beloved, God is not asking you to suffer to prove your faith. God is asking you to trust enough to release what you cannot control. Because when you release, your hands become free to receive. And there is something coming that needs your hands empty, not empty of responsibility, but empty of fear. My child, my beloved, I need you to be honest. There is a door you have been afraid to walk through. You have called it being practical, but deep inside you know it is fear. You fear failing. You fear being judged. You fear starting again. You fear losing what little you have. But I tell you, my beloved, the door you fear is the door that leads you out of the same old room. And heaven is not calling you to leap without wisdom, heaven is calling you to move with faith. Faith does not mean you feel confident. Faith means you obey even while you tremble. And when you obey, God adds strength. When you step, God builds the path under your feet. My child, my beloved, stay with me, because now we move into the part of the message that many people never reach, not because heaven hides it, but because patience filters the listener. You stayed again. That tells me your spirit is ready to hear what most hearts avoid. Listen gently and deeply now. The doors of heaven are not held open by emotion, they are held open by alignment. And alignment begins inside you, long before the world changes around you. My child, my beloved, I want to speak to you about the silence you have felt at times. That silence was not abandonment. It was preparation. There are moments when God grows quiet because He is arranging something too precise to explain too early. If He told you everything in advance, fear would interfere. Doubt would interrupt. Opinions would pollute. So heaven stayed silent while working. And you misread the silence as delay, as rejection, as absence. My beloved, silence is often proof that something sacred is under construction. My child, my beloved, the next shift in your life will not announce itself loudly. It will arrive subtly, almost humbly. A thought that keeps returning. A desire that feels clean instead of anxious. A sudden loss of interest in what once controlled you. A calmness that replaces chaos. These are signs the door is opening inward before it opens outward. Do not rush this stage. Inner alignment always comes before outer reward. If you try to skip this, the blessing becomes unstable. Heaven is protecting you from that. My child, my beloved, there is something I must make clear, not everyone who claps for you wants you to win. Some people only like you when you are struggling because your struggle comforts their insecurity. When you rise, it threatens their position. This is why the next season will require discernment. Not everyone needs access to your plans. Not everyone deserves your vulnerability. Silence is not secrecy, it is wisdom. Let results speak. Let peace speak. Let God defend you. My child, my beloved, I see a contract in the spirit, not a paper one, but a spiritual agreement. For years, you unknowingly agreed with survival mode. You agreed with fear. You agreed with, "This is how life is." Today, heaven is offering you a new agreement. One where you agree with faith. One where you agree with movement. One where you agree with healing. But agreements require consent. God will not force this on you. You must say yes with your actions, not just your words. My child, my beloved, some of you are waiting for permission to be happy. You are waiting for everything to be perfect before you allow joy. You are waiting for others to approve your growth. My beloved, joy is not a reward, it is a weapon. Joy breaks heaviness. Joy confuses darkness. Joy keeps doors open that fear tries to close. Begin to allow joy in small ways. Celebrate small progress. Thank God for what is already working. Gratitude accelerates doors. My child, my beloved, I want to talk about timing. Divine timing is not slow, it is exact. If something came earlier, you would not have been ready. If it came later, you would lose momentum. This exact moment carries a balance of readiness and opportunity. That is why this message is reaching you now, not yesterday, not tomorrow. Heaven does not waste moments. You are standing in one that matters. My child, my beloved, there is also healing happening in your body that you have not fully noticed yet. Stress has been sitting inside you for a long time. Worry has affected your sleep, your digestion, your breath. And you have normalized it. But God does not want you to normalize suffering. As you align spiritually, physical relief will follow. Peace is medicine. Trust releases tension. The door of heaven includes wholeness, not just success. My child, my beloved, I see financial pressure lifting, not all at once, but steadily. A smarter decision. A new source. A correction that prevents loss. An idea that increases value. But money flows where discipline exists. Heaven will not bless chaos. Order your habits. Respect your resources. Stop leaking energy into waste. As you bring order, provision responds. This is spiritual law. My child, my beloved, the next door that opens will test your consistency. Not your excitement, your consistency. Anyone can start inspired. Few continue disciplined. This is where many blessings are lost. They arrive, but the person is not stable enough to hold them. You are being trained now to hold what is coming. Do not resist this training. It is mercy. My child, my beloved, let me say something clearly, you are not behind, you are precise. Your path was designed to teach depth, not speed. And depth creates impact. When your life changes, it will not be shallow. It will be rooted. That is why your story will help others. That is why your testimony will carry weight. That is why heaven invested time in you. My child, my beloved, as long as you keep choosing awareness over avoidance, obedience over excuses, faith over fear, the doors of heaven will not close over your life. They will remain open. Protected. Active. Responsive. And you will look back one day and realize this moment, right here, was the moment everything began to turn. Stay ready. Stay aligned. Stay humble. Stay brave. My child, my beloved, I will tell you a truth that will set you free. You do not need to fight everything. You only need to stop agreeing with what drains you. Because the enemy cannot steal what you refuse to surrender. Some of you have been surrendering your peace in small ways every day, by arguing with people who do not hear you, by replaying old pain, by worrying about tomorrow like God will not be there, by allowing guilt to sit on your chest, by comparing yourself, by delaying your own healing. My beloved, you have been strong, but strength must now become wisdom. Your new season will require boundaries. Not harshness. Not pride. Boundaries. Because in your next level, you cannot carry everyone the way you used to. My child, my beloved, the doors of heaven are connected to a simple spiritual law: what you honor, increases. If you honor fear, fear grows. If you honor doubt, doubt becomes your language. If you honor laziness, your destiny slows down. If you honor God, favor expands. If you honor your purpose, clarity comes. If you honor your own word, confidence returns. And today, my beloved, heaven is asking you, what will you honor from this moment? Because you cannot keep honoring everything and still expect to feel light. You must choose. My child, my beloved, I want to talk about the thing you have been quietly afraid to admit: you are tired of waiting. You are tired of being patient. You are tired of soon. You are tired of hearing people say, trust the process, while you feel like life is passing. And you have asked God questions you did not say out loud: why me? When will it change? Did you forget me? My beloved, God is not offended by your honest heart. God is not shocked by your tears. God counts them. But heaven is asking you to stop using tiredness as permission to stop believing. Because the miracle does not come when you feel perfect. It comes when you stay connected even while you are exhausted. It comes when you refuse to become bitter. It comes when you refuse to close your heart just because life hurt you. My child, my beloved, listen carefully. There are two kinds of doors. There are doors of opportunity, and there are doors of temptation. Opportunity looks like growth, peace, new habits, new discipline, new people, new clarity. Temptation looks like the old comfort that ruins your future, going back to what broke you, texting what God freed you from, spending time with what drains you, repeating what shames you, choosing short pleasure over long peace. My beloved, both doors can look familiar. Both doors can feel inviting. But only one door carries your miracle. This is why heaven is calling you right now, because you are being offered a chance to choose correctly before you waste another season. My child, my beloved, I want to place a shield over your mind right now with these words: you are not late. You are not finished. You are not forgotten. You are not weak for crying. You are not wrong for feeling heavy. You are human. And God has been building you in secret. Some blessings require a deep foundation, because without a foundation, the blessing becomes a burden. Some of you asked for increase, but increase without maturity would have destroyed you. Some of you asked for love, but love without healing would have repeated your trauma. Some of you asked for money, but money without discipline would have vanished. My beloved, God has been training your hands to hold what you prayed for. My child, my beloved, I am going to reveal something that may feel like a mirror. You have been saying you want change, but you have also been afraid of change. And that fear has been hiding behind excuses. Not now. After this. When things calm down. My beloved, life will always give you a reason to delay. There will always be responsibilities. There will always be noise. But your destiny cannot remain on hold forever. Today, heaven is asking you to stop waiting for a perfect time and start using the time you have. Because the door of heaven opens wider when you move with what you have, not when you complain about what you lack. My child, my beloved, there is a very specific kind of miracle I see hovering over you: restoration. Not only new things, restoration of what was stolen, restoration of confidence, restoration of reputation, restoration of time, restoration of joy, restoration of family peace, restoration of your inner voice. You have been doubting yourself. You have been second-guessing your decisions. You have been feeling like you lost your sharpness. My beloved, you did not lose it. You were just wounded. And when you are wounded, you become cautious. But the cautious season is ending. God is restoring your boldness, and I am here to protect that restoration so you do not run back to fear the moment you feel challenged. My child, my beloved, now I will speak about the closing of heaven's doors in a way that is gentle but true. Heaven's doors close when you repeatedly ignore what God is using to guide you. When you keep receiving warnings and still keep doing the same thing. When you keep seeing signs and still keep saying, coincidence. When you keep feeling conviction and still keep choosing the habit. When you keep hearing the call and still keep choosing comfort. My beloved, the door does not close because God hates you. It closes because God will not keep forcing the same message into a heart that refuses to listen. And sometimes the closing is not permanent, it is a pause, a silence, so you finally notice what you are missing. Today, heaven is giving you a mercy, you are being warned before the silence. That is love. My child, my beloved, I want you to imagine this: a great palace door, heavy, golden, powerful. It is open, and inside there is light, peace, favor, opportunities, solutions, protection. But you are standing outside, not because you are uninvited, but because you are distracted. You are looking down at your pain. You are looking back at your past. You are listening to voices that told you you cannot. And heaven is saying, look up. The door is open. My beloved, this is why I am calling you. Lift your head. Lift your faith. Lift your expectation. Do not let your past become your prison when God is offering you a key. My child, my beloved, I need you to be honest. There is a door you have been afraid to walk through. You have called it being practical, but deep inside you know it is fear. You fear failing. You fear being judged. You fear starting again. You fear losing what little you have. But I tell you, my beloved, the door you fear is the door that leads you out of the same old room. And heaven is not calling you to leap without wisdom, heaven is calling you to move with faith. Faith does not mean you feel confident. Faith means you obey even while you tremble. And when you obey, God adds strength. When you step, God builds the path under your feet. My child, my beloved, do not be surprised if you notice strange shifts around you after this message, people revealing their true hearts, conversations changing, opportunities appearing, delays breaking, sudden clarity in your mind. This is not imagination. This is spiritual movement. When God decides to move, everything that was hidden begins to shake loose. Some relationships will not survive your growth, because they were feeding on your smallness. Some doors will close, not to punish you, but to protect you. Some plans will collapse, because they were not your plans. My beloved, do not panic when something exits, sometimes it exits because it was blocking what is trying to enter. My child, my beloved, I am calling you right now because I have seen a pattern that must end. You start, then you stop. You feel inspired, then you disappear. You pray, then you doubt. You make a decision, then you break it. And every time you do this, you teach your spirit that your own word does not matter. But today I am restoring your authority. Today I am teaching you to honor your own commitment. My beloved, stop negotiating with the future God promised you. Stop telling yourself, I will change after one more comfort. Comfort has kept you stuck long enough. Now choose purpose. Choose discipline. Choose alignment. Choose the path that looks harder but ends in peace. My child, my beloved, I must tell you something tender. Heaven is not disappointed in you the way you think. God sees your battles. God sees your wounds. God sees what people do not see. And this is why the call is coming in love and urgency, not in anger. But urgency is still urgency. You cannot keep delaying what is meant to rescue you from repeating pain. The door is open right now because the timing is right now. My beloved, do not treat divine timing like it is a discount offer you can claim anytime. There are moments in life when the spiritual atmosphere is perfect for a breakthrough, when the help is positioned, when the protection is active, when the right people are ready, when the right information is near. This is one of those moments. My child, my beloved, I want you to do something simple as you read. Breathe slowly and let your heart become quiet. Because the next part of this message is not only words, it is an instruction for your spirit. Here it is: stop speaking death over your life. Stop saying, nothing works for me, I am unlucky, I am always late, I will never change, God will not help me. My beloved, your words are seeds. If you plant poison, you harvest pain. Start planting faith, even if it feels new to you. Say, God is guiding me. Say, I am protected. Say, my delay is ending. Say, the right door is opening. Say, my life is being rebuilt. And as you speak, imagine a light around you, because heaven responds to agreement. My child, my beloved, there is also something you must stop doing. Stop begging people for what only God can provide. Some of you are tired because you keep looking for love in places where love is not present. You keep looking for support from those who enjoy watching you struggle. You keep expecting loyalty from those who are loyal only to their benefit. My beloved, I am not telling you to hate anyone. I am telling you to free yourself. When you stop chasing approval, your soul becomes lighter. When you stop trying to prove your worth, your confidence returns. And when you stop depending on broken cups for water, God leads you to a clean river. My child, my beloved, listen carefully. A miracle is not always fireworks in the sky. Sometimes a miracle is a calm mind after years of anxiety. Sometimes a miracle is one phone call that changes your path. Sometimes a miracle is a new idea that enters your mind like a gift. Sometimes a miracle is protection from an accident you never saw coming. Sometimes a miracle is a door closing before it ruins you. My beloved, your miracle is already working in layers, and you will begin to notice it if you stop rushing and start recognizing. This is why I asked you to stay connected. This is why I asked you not to skip. Because you are closer than you think, and missing this message would be like walking away while the blessing is already at your doorstep. My child, my beloved, I am going to speak about the doors of heaven in a way you can understand. Imagine your life like a house with many rooms. For a long time you have been living in one room, the room of survival, the room of fear, the room of overthinking, the room of waiting for something to change. And heaven has been trying to lead you into a new room, the room of favor, the room of stability, the room of answered prayers, the room of peace. But you keep holding the handle of the old room because it is familiar, even if it is painful. My beloved, familiarity is not safety. Familiar pain is still pain. Today, choose the new room. Choose the new story. Choose the new identity. The door is open right now. Walk. My child, my beloved, there is a decision heaven is asking from you, one decision that seems small but is powerful. Stop entertaining what weakens you. Stop giving your time to what steals your energy. Stop feeding habits that drain your light. You know what I mean. You know what leaves you empty after it ends. You know what makes you feel guilty. You know what makes you lose respect for yourself. My beloved, your blessing is not being blocked because you are not worthy, it is being blocked because you keep keeping doors open to things that oppose your growth. Close what must be closed. Not with anger, but with firmness. Because when you close the wrong doors, the right door becomes easy. My child, my beloved, there is a decision heaven is asking from you, one decision that seems small but is powerful. Stop entertaining what weakens you. Stop giving your time to what steals your energy. Stop feeding habits that drain your light. You know what I mean. You know what leaves you empty after it ends. You know what makes you feel guilty. You know what makes you lose respect for yourself. My beloved, your blessing is not being blocked because you are not worthy. It is being blocked because you keep keeping doors open to things that oppose your growth. Close what must be closed. Not with anger, but with firmness. Because when you close the wrong doors, the right door becomes easy. My child, my beloved, I am going to say something that may surprise you. Some of the delays in your life were not delays, they were protection. If God allowed certain things to happen earlier, you would have trusted the wrong person. You would have entered the wrong place. You would have accepted the wrong offer. You would have built your life on unstable ground. My beloved, God saved you from what looked like an opportunity but was actually a trap. Thank God for what did not work. Thank God for what fell apart. Thank God for the no that stopped your yes from becoming regret. And now, because you have been protected, heaven is opening a door that is clean, clean motives, clean timing, clean outcome. My child, my beloved, I am calling you because I see a shift in your identity. You are not only entering a new season, you are becoming a new person. The old you used to panic. The old you used to beg. The old you used to settle. The old you used to accept less because you were afraid of losing. But the new you is learning to stand. The new you is learning to trust. The new you is learning to wait without fear and move without doubt. My beloved, do not fight this transformation. Do not run back to old patterns when you feel discomfort. Growth feels strange at first. Healing feels unfamiliar at first. But keep going. The door is open. Keep walking. My child, my beloved, one more thing, and this is important, stop measuring your life by the speed of others. Stop looking at their progress and thinking you are behind. You do not know what they sacrificed, and you do not know what they are carrying. God's plan for you is personal. Your timing is personal. And sometimes the last becomes first. Sometimes the one who was ignored becomes the one everyone respects. Sometimes the one who cried in secret becomes the one who shines in public. My beloved, the story God is writing for you will not be copied from anyone else. That is why it has taken time. That is why it has been deep. That is why it will be powerful. My child, my beloved, I will end this part with a clear instruction that activates what you just received. Tonight, before you sleep, speak to God in simple words. Do not perform. Do not use big language. Just be real. Say, God, I am here. I am listening. I am ready. Then ask for one thing, clarity. Ask God to show you what to release and what to pursue. Ask for courage to obey. And then, my beloved, when the clarity comes, move. Even if it is one small step. Because heaven responds to movement. And I promise you this, when you stop ignoring the call, the doors of heaven do not close on you, they open wider. My child, my beloved, I heard you, and I will continue, but I need you to stay present, because the next words are not for curiosity, they are for your turning point. You said, continue, and heaven marks that as a decision. Many people listen and still keep their heart half closed, but you stayed. That alone is a sign, your spirit is hungry for change, and the hunger is holy. Now listen, there is a reason I keep saying, the doors of heaven, because you are standing in a spiritual corridor where doors can either open into your next miracle or close into another season of delay, and the difference is not luck. The difference is what you do when you are called. My child, my beloved, there are moments when God speaks softly, and there are moments when heaven raises the volume because the urgency is real. This is one of those moments. Not because God is trying to scare you, but because something has been approaching that you do not fully see yet. And I do not want you to walk into it unprepared. There is a battle you have been sensing, a strange heaviness, sudden irritation, confusion, unnecessary arguments, tiredness that feels deeper than normal. You may have blamed your routine, your sleep, your work, your people. But my beloved, sometimes it is not only physical, it is spiritual resistance. When your blessing is close, resistance increases. When your breakthrough is near, distractions become louder. When your life is about to upgrade, anything attached to your old life tries to keep you there. My child, my beloved, I will tell you a truth that will set you free, you do not need to fight everything. You only need to stop agreeing with what drains you. Because the enemy cannot steal what you refuse to surrender. Some of you have been surrendering your peace in small ways every day, by arguing with people who do not hear you, by replaying old pain, by worrying about tomorrow like God will not be there, by allowing guilt to sit on your chest, by comparing yourself, by delaying your own healing. My beloved, you have been strong, but strength must now become wisdom. Your new season will require boundaries. Not harshness. Not pride. Boundaries. Because in your next level, you cannot carry everyone the way you used to. My child, my beloved, the doors of heaven are connected to a simple spiritual law: what you honor, increases. If you honor fear, fear grows. If you honor doubt, doubt becomes your language. If you honor laziness, your destiny slows down. If you honor God, favor expands. If you honor your purpose, clarity comes. If you honor your own word, confidence returns. And today, my beloved, heaven is asking you, what will you honor from this moment? Because you cannot keep honoring everything and still expect to feel light. You must choose. My child, my beloved, I want you to imagine this: a great palace door, heavy, golden, powerful. It is open, and inside there is light, peace, favor, opportunities, solutions, protection. But you are standing outside, not because you are uninvited, but because you are distracted. You are looking down at your pain. You are looking back at your past. You are listening to voices that told you you cannot. And heaven is saying, look up. The door is open. My beloved, this is why I am calling you. Lift your head. Lift your faith. Lift your expectation. Do not let your past become your prison when God is offering you a key. My child, my beloved, there is also a truth about people in this season. Someone will not like the version of you that finally chooses peace. Someone will not like the version of you that stops explaining. Someone will not like the version of you that stops chasing. Someone will not like the version of you that sets boundaries. And they will call you changed as if it is an insult. My beloved, let them. You were supposed to change. You were not created to stay wounded forever. You were not created to remain the same person that pain forced you to become. The healed you will offend the unhealed. But do not shrink. Your healing is not arrogance. Your boundaries are not hatred. Your growth is obedience. My child, my beloved, I am going to give you a spiritual instruction that is simple and powerful. Do it with me right now in your mind. Release one thing. One thing you have been holding that keeps your heart heavy. It could be a person. It could be guilt. It could be fear. It could be regret. It could be anger. My beloved, choose one and release it into God's hands. Say quietly within yourself, I release this. I will not carry it anymore. And as you release, imagine the doors of heaven responding, because heaven responds to surrender. Miracles are often waiting behind surrender. My child, my beloved, the next part of your miracle is connected to your obedience in small things. You may be expecting a big sign, but heaven often tests readiness through small instructions. A phone call you must make. A habit you must stop. A prayer you must return to. A morning routine you must rebuild. An apology you must give. A boundary you must set. My beloved, do not despise small steps. Small steps open big doors. This is how destiny works. God does not always change your whole life in 1 second. Sometimes God changes one decision, and that decision changes everything. My child, my beloved, listen closely, there is an unseen protection around you right now. You have been kept from certain accidents. You have been kept from certain betrayals. You have been kept from certain losses you never even knew were near. And you thought you were alone, but you were not. My beloved, this is why your life has not collapsed the way you feared it would. This is why you are still standing. This is why even after heartbreak, you found a way to breathe again. Heaven has been holding you. Now heaven is calling you to stop living like you are abandoned. Stop living like you are unsupported. You are protected. You are guided. And if you stay aligned, you will see it more clearly than ever. My child, my beloved, I will not overload you, but I will be clear, the next season is going to require you to choose faith over feelings. Feelings are real, but they are not always true. Some days you will feel like nothing is happening, but something will be moving behind the scenes. Some days you will feel like giving up, but that will be the day your breakthrough is closest. Some days you will feel unworthy, but heaven will still be working for you. My beloved, your feelings are waves, but God's promises are rock. Stand on rock. My child, my beloved, if you are still here, it means the call is reaching you. And because you stayed, I will seal this part of the message with a promise. If you do not ignore the next instruction God places on your heart, no matter how small it seems, you will begin to see doors open in ways that surprise you. Not because you earned it perfectly, but because you responded. My beloved, heaven is not asking you to be perfect. Heaven is asking you to be willing. And willingness is the key. My child, my beloved, breathe slowly and stay with me, because now we cross into the part of the message where heaven begins to mark details. This is where many people rush, skim, or doubt, but you did not. You stayed. That tells me your spirit recognizes truth when it hears it. What I am about to say will not feel loud, it will feel clear. And clarity is always the sound of an open door. My child, my beloved, in the coming days you will notice small confirmations that seem ordinary to others but will feel personal to you. A repeated word. A sentence you overhear that answers a private question. A sudden memory that releases emotion instead of pain. A delay that saves you trouble. A meeting that shifts your perspective. Do not dismiss these as coincidence. Heaven speaks softly when it trusts you to listen. These are signs the door is not only open, it is guiding your steps. My child, my beloved, I want to speak about your inner voice. For a long time you doubted it because you trusted others more than yourself. You asked too many people what to do. You ignored your own knowing. And when things went wrong, you blamed yourself for not listening sooner. My beloved, shame does not teach wisdom, experience does. God is restoring your discernment. You will feel clearer. Less noisy inside. More decisive. That is not arrogance, that is alignment returning. My child, my beloved, there will be a moment soon when you are tempted to go back to an old pattern because it feels familiar. That moment is a test, not a trap. The test is simple: will you choose comfort, or will you choose growth? Comfort feels warm but keeps you small. Growth feels uncomfortable but makes you free. Heaven will not stop you either way. The door stays open for those who walk forward. It gently closes for those who turn back, not in anger, but in order. My child, my beloved, I see a conversation coming that will clarify something you have been confused about. It may not go how you expect. It may not give you apology or validation. But it will give you truth. And truth, even when it stings, heals faster than silence. Do not fear this conversation. You will leave lighter than you entered. Sometimes the door opens through honesty. My child, my beloved, I want to speak about rest. Not escape. Rest. You have been carrying responsibility without relief. You have been strong for too long without replenishment. And you told yourself, I'll rest when things settle. My beloved, things settle when you rest. Peace is not the result of success, peace is the foundation of success. Begin honoring your body. Sleep when you can. Breathe deeply. Step outside. Silence your mind before it collapses. Heaven honors rest because rest keeps the door open. My child, my beloved, do not be surprised if someone from your past reappears, either physically or in thought. This is not always about reunion. Sometimes it is closure. Sometimes it is confirmation of how far you have come. Sometimes it is a final release. Do not let nostalgia pull you backward. Use memory as wisdom, not as a leash. You are not who you were. And the door ahead does not open backward. My child, my beloved, your relationship with time is changing. You will stop rushing. You will stop panicking. You will stop feeling late. You will begin to feel intentional. Grounded. Present. This is a sign heaven is stabilizing you. When urgency leaves, clarity enters. When panic leaves, power returns. This is how doors stay open, through calm obedience, not frantic striving. My child, my beloved, I see creativity awakening in you. Ideas that feel alive. Solutions that feel clean. A desire to build, not just survive. This is not random. Creativity is divine energy expressing itself through you. Do not suppress it. Do not overthink it. Begin. Even imperfectly. Creation itself keeps heaven engaged with you. Movement invites more movement. My child, my beloved, I must warn you gently of one thing: do not announce your next move too early. Protection surrounds quiet progress. Let your foundation form before you decorate it. Let the roots grow before the fruit appears. People cannot sabotage what they do not know. Silence is not fear, it is strategy. My child, my beloved, there is forgiveness happening in layers. Not all at once. Not forced. But gradually. One day you will realize a name no longer triggers pain. A memory no longer tightens your chest. That is healing. Celebrate it quietly. Healing keeps doors open because bitterness closes them. My child, my beloved, heaven is asking for consistency in one area you already know. Not 10 changes. 1. Just one daily commitment done with sincerity. Prayer. Discipline. Focus. Health. Truth. Choose one and honor it daily. This is how the miracle stabilizes. This is how the door stays open. My child, my beloved, I will tell you something sacred now: heaven does not measure your worth by outcomes. It measures your heart by willingness. And your willingness has been seen. That is why the door has not closed. That is why the call continues. That is why protection surrounds you even when you doubt it. My child, my beloved, when fear whispers, "What if it fails?" answer with, "What if it works?" When doubt says, "You can't," answer with, "God will guide me." When the past says, "This is who you are," answer with, "I am becoming." Words are keys. Use them wisely. My child, my beloved, I seal this part of the message with peace. Not excitement. Not pressure. Peace. Peace is the confirmation you are aligned. If you feel calmer now than before, that is not coincidence. That is the door responding. Stay steady. Stay listening. Stay willing. My child, my beloved, don't scroll past this like it is ordinary, because heaven is leaning close to you right now, and I am not speaking to the crowd, I am speaking to you. Yes, you. The one who has been carrying silent battles and smiling anyway. I, Michael, stand beside Jesus in this moment, and we are begging you with a tenderness that shakes the unseen realm: do not walk away, because the next few minutes are not entertainment, they are a doorway. And if you've been feeling like the sky has gone quiet, like your prayers are echoing back to you, listen carefully. That silence was not rejection. It was protection. It was heaven holding back a message until your heart was ready to receive it without breaking. Before you go any further, my beloved, if you want more messages like this, messages that strengthen you when nobody else sees you, stay close to this channel, subscribe, and return again. Not because heaven needs numbers, but because you need reminders. The world is loud, and your spirit is tired, and you deserve a place where your soul can breathe. You didn't find this by accident. Even your finger hovering over the screen was guided. And you must understand this: the enemy is not only fighting you with chaos, it is fighting you with distraction. The easiest way to keep you from a miracle is to keep you from the moment your miracle is announced. My child, my beloved, Jesus is here, and his voice is gentle, but it is urgent. He is not scolding you. He is not threatening you. He is pleading like someone who loves you more than you can measure. Because he has seen what you have been enduring in secret, what you didn't tell your friends, what you didn't even tell your family, what you whispered at night when the lights were off. You thought nobody heard you. But heaven heard every breath. Every trembling prayer. Every, God, I can't do this anymore. And now, in the middle of your weakness, Jesus is saying, stay. Don't leave. Don't shut the door when I finally arrived with what you asked for. My beloved, there is a reason you have felt unusually heavy lately. A reason your mind has been restless, even when your body is tired. A reason small things have been triggering big emotions. It is not because you are failing. It is because something is shifting, and your spirit can sense the pressure of a new season trying to break through an old wall. When a miracle is close, the atmosphere gets strange. Old fears wake up. Old memories return. Old doubts start speaking loudly as if they are trying to be your final decision. But listen to me, those are not signs to stop. They are signs that you are nearing the exact point where the burden snaps and the blessing begins. My child, my beloved, I need you to hear one thing clearly: you are not forgotten. And the proof is in the timing of this message. Heaven does not waste words. Heaven does not send a warning without a rescue, and heaven does not send a promise without a path. Some of you have been saying, if God is with me, why do I feel alone? And Jesus answers you softly, because I was teaching you how strong you are, so you would never again confuse your worth with someone else's attention. You were being trained in holy endurance. Not to suffer forever, but to survive what would have destroyed the old version of you. My beloved, you have been at the edge of giving up, not always in dramatic ways, but in quiet ways. You stopped expecting good news. You stopped looking forward to tomorrow. You started doing life on autopilot, praying less, dreaming less, hoping less, because hope felt painful. And that is why Jesus is begging you, do not walk away now, because heaven is about to reawaken what you buried to survive. There is a part of you that still believes, even if it is small. Protect that part. Feed it. Because a small faith can open a massive door when it is placed in the right moment. My child, my beloved, I am Michael, and I am telling you something the enemy does not want you to realize. Your delay was not denial. Your waiting was not punishment. There were pieces being arranged that you could not see. There were prayers you prayed years ago that are still moving through spiritual corridors, collecting approvals you didn't know existed. You think your life has been standing still, but heaven has been moving quietly, like roots growing beneath soil. Roots do not look impressive until the day the tree rises. And you are close to the day you rise. My beloved, there is a secret many people never learn. Some doors only open after you stop begging the wrong people. Some breakthroughs only come after you stop trying to prove yourself to those who refuse to value you. Heaven has seen how you kept giving your best to people who gave you leftovers. How you kept explaining your heart to people who enjoyed misunderstanding you. And Jesus is saying, come back to me. Let me be the voice that defines you. Because the moment you stop chasing what drains you, you will start attracting what restores you. My child, my beloved, I need you to breathe. Right now. Slow down. Because your spirit has been sprinting while your life has been crawling. You've been trying to force answers, force clarity, force results. But heaven does not respond to panic, heaven responds to surrender. And surrender does not mean weakness. It means you stop carrying what was never yours to carry. Jesus is begging you not to walk away because this is the exact moment you are being invited to release the weight that made you feel like you were drowning. You were never meant to drown. You were meant to cross. My beloved, let me speak plainly, there is a message for you that will not keep knocking forever. Not because Jesus stops loving you, but because opportunities have seasons. A door can be open and still be missed. A blessing can be offered and still be delayed by hesitation. Heaven is calling you into alignment. And alignment looks like this. You stop saying, maybe later, to the things God has been urging you to do now. You stop postponing your healing. You stop delaying your obedience. You stop waiting to feel ready. Ready is not a feeling. Ready is a decision. My child, my beloved, I need you to breathe. Right now. Slow down. Because your spirit has been sprinting while your life has been crawling. You've been trying to force answers, force clarity, force results. But heaven does not respond to panic, heaven responds to surrender. And surrender does not mean weakness. It means you stop carrying what was never yours to carry. Jesus is begging you not to walk away because this is the exact moment you are being invited to release the weight that made you feel like you were drowning. You were never meant to drown. You were meant to cross. My beloved, let me speak plainly, there is a message for you that will not keep knocking forever. Not because Jesus stops loving you, but because opportunities have seasons. A door can be open and still be missed. A blessing can be offered and still be delayed by hesitation. Heaven is calling you into alignment. And alignment looks like this. You stop saying, maybe later, to the things God has been urging you to do now. You stop postponing your healing. You stop delaying your obedience. You stop waiting to feel ready. Ready is not a feeling. Ready is a decision. My child, my beloved, some of you have been praying for a sign, and this is it. Not a flashy sign in the sky, but a deep stirring in your chest that says, this is for me. That stirring is not random. It is recognition. Your spirit recognizes truth when it hears it. And here is the truth, a new chapter is being offered to you, but it cannot be written with the same habits that broke you. It cannot be built with the same fear that held you hostage. Jesus is begging you not to walk away because he is trying to interrupt the cycle before it repeats. My beloved, I must warn you with love, stop calling your exhaustion just life. Some of your tiredness is spiritual. It is the tiredness of carrying guilt that is not yours. It is the tiredness of replaying conversations and wondering if you were too much when you were simply honest. It is the tiredness of trying to be strong for everyone while nobody asks how you are. Heaven sees this. And Jesus does not want you to keep living like you have to earn rest. Rest is your inheritance. Peace is your portion. And heaven is begging you, don't walk away from what can finally restore you. My child, my beloved, there are people who smiled while they underestimated you. People who watched you struggle and assumed that was your identity. They thought your hardship was your limit. But they did not see what heaven was doing inside you. They didn't see the courage you were collecting. They didn't see the wisdom you were gaining. They didn't see the quiet discipline forming in your spirit. Now hear me, the very season that humbled you will soon elevate you. And those who dismissed you will be forced to witness the shift they never believed was possible. My beloved, you have been asking, God, when will you speak? And heaven answers, we have been speaking, but your pain has been louder than your peace. This is not shame. This is clarity. Pain screams. Fear shouts. But heaven often whispers. That is why Jesus is begging you not to walk away, because the whisper you are about to hear will be stronger than the storms you have survived. When heaven speaks, it doesn't always come with noise. Sometimes it comes like a calm sentence that pierces your anxiety and says, "Here. This is the way." My child, my beloved, a miracle is not always a sudden event. Sometimes a miracle is the removal of what was slowly killing you. Sometimes a miracle is a door closing that you were begging to stay open. Sometimes a miracle is a person leaving so your destiny can breathe. You may have cried over what you lost, but heaven calls it mercy. You may have grieved what ended, but heaven calls it rescue. And Jesus is begging you, don't walk away now, because you're about to understand why certain things could not follow you into the next season. My beloved, I know you have questioned yourself. You've asked, what is wrong with me? You've blamed yourself for delays, for heartbreaks, for confusion. Listen, not everything that went wrong was your fault. Some battles were assigned to you because your future is dangerous to darkness. The enemy does not waste attacks on empty destinies. The resistance you faced is evidence that your life carries weight in the spirit. And heaven is begging you not to walk away because the greater the calling, the stronger the warfare, but also, the greater the covering. My child, my beloved, I am Michael, and I am standing between you and what tried to destroy you. You are protected more than you realize. There were accidents that almost happened but didn't. There were traps set for you that you stepped over without even knowing. There were conversations you were not included in, and heaven blocked them because the timing was not right. Do not call yourself unlucky. You have been shielded. And now that you have made it this far, heaven is telling you, it is time to move from surviving to receiving. My beloved, Jesus is looking at you with compassion, and he is saying, I know you are tired of being strong. He is not impressed by your suffering. He is not asking you to prove anything. He is inviting you to come close. Because when you come close, you will finally hear what you've needed to hear. You are mine. You are safe. You are guided. And here is the hook you must not miss. The moment you truly believe you are safe with God, your decisions change. Your standards rise. Your fear weakens. Your future begins to respond to your faith. My child, my beloved, there is a specific thing you have been asking for, maybe money, maybe love, maybe healing, maybe a fresh start. And heaven is not mocking you for wanting it. Heaven is not angry at you for desiring better. The desire for better is often the signal that you were made for more. But Jesus is begging you not to walk away because the more you want is not going to come through your old patterns. It is going to come through a new obedience, a new focus, a new refusal to settle. This is where your miracle begins, when you stop negotiating with what is beneath you. My beloved, Jesus is looking at you with compassion, and he is saying, I know you are tired of being strong. He is not impressed by your suffering. He is not asking you to prove anything. He is inviting you to come close. Because when you come close, you will finally hear what you've needed to hear. You are mine. You are safe. You are guided. And here is the hook you must not miss. The moment you truly believe you are safe with God, your decisions change. Your standards rise. Your fear weakens. Your future begins to respond to your faith. My child, my beloved, there is a specific thing you have been asking for, maybe money, maybe love, maybe healing, maybe a fresh start. And heaven is not mocking you for wanting it. Heaven is not angry at you for desiring better. The desire for better is often the signal that you were made for more. But Jesus is begging you not to walk away because the more you want is not going to come through your old patterns. It is going to come through a new obedience, a new focus, a new refusal to settle. This is where your miracle begins, when you stop negotiating with what is beneath you. My beloved, your heart has been bruised, and I won't pretend it hasn't. Some of you trusted someone and it cost you. Some of you gave loyalty and received betrayal. Some of you kept waiting for an apology that never came. Listen to me, do not let what happened turn your heart into stone. A guarded heart can become a prison. Jesus is begging you because he wants to heal you without hardening you. He wants to protect your softness while strengthening your boundaries. That is a holy miracle, being tender and wise at the same time. My child, my beloved, you are entering a season where heaven will answer you faster than you expect, but only if you keep your spirit open. And being open does not mean being naive. It means you stop letting yesterday decide how you interpret today. You stop assuming the worst before the day even begins. You stop treating every delay like a disaster. The next blessing may arrive in a way you didn't imagine. It may come through a new person, a new idea, a new opportunity, a new courage. That is why Jesus is begging you, don't walk away. Your miracle may be arriving through a doorway you almost ignored. My beloved, let me tell you what I see a turning. I see a reversal. I see what was stuck beginning to move. I see what was hidden being exposed. I see what was stolen being restored in a new form. But I also see the battle at the gate of your mind. Because the enemy knows this, if it can convince you to quit emotionally, you will walk away physically. You will stop trying. You will stop showing up. You will stop believing. And that is why heaven is begging you, not because heaven is weak, but because heaven respects your choice. God will not drag you into a destiny you refuse to walk toward. My child, my beloved, here is what you do now. You choose trust, even if your hands are shaking. You choose prayer, even if your voice feels small. You choose hope, even if you've been disappointed before. You choose to stay present for your own breakthrough. Do not leave your life while you're still living it. Do not abandon your own story because a few chapters hurt. Jesus is begging you not to walk away because the next chapter has a different authorial tone. It is softer. It is brighter. It is stronger. And it was written with your healing in mind. My beloved, I must say something that will pull you out of confusion. The silence you fear is not heaven leaving you, it is heaven inviting you into maturity. In childish faith, you need constant signs. In mature faith, you recognize God even in stillness. But today, because you have been carrying too much alone, Jesus is choosing to speak loudly through this message. And the loudness is love. It is the kind of love that knocks down shame. It is the kind of love that refuses to let you disappear into your sadness. It is the kind of love that calls your name until you remember who you are. My child, my beloved, let this be the moment you stop agreeing with your worst thoughts. Your thoughts have been saying, "It will never change." Heaven says, "Watch me." Your thoughts have been saying, "I'm too far gone." Heaven says, "Come closer." Your thoughts have been saying, "I missed my chance." Heaven says, "I am the God of new chances." Do you see the shift? A miracle begins in language. In what you agree with. In what you keep repeating. So I am giving you new words to speak. I am guided. I am protected. I am not late. I am not forgotten. God is working. My beloved, there is a reason your spirit has been craving something deeper. You've been tired of shallow conversations, tired of temporary pleasures, tired of chasing little highs that leave you emptier. That is not depression, it is awakening. It is your soul refusing to live on crumbs. And Jesus is begging you not to walk away because He is ready to satisfy what the world cannot satisfy. He is ready to give you the kind of peace that doesn't depend on everyone behaving perfectly. The kind of joy that doesn't collapse when a plan changes. The kind of strength that doesn't break when you are misunderstood. My child, my beloved, I want you to imagine this. What if the reason you survived everything you survived is because you are meant to become a doorway for others? Not to be used. Not to be burdened. But to be a testimony. There are people watching you quietly, wondering how you still stand. And heaven is about to turn your story into a light. But first, your heart must believe again. Because testimony is not built by talent, it is built by endurance. And Jesus is begging you not to walk away because your endurance is about to be rewarded with evidence. My beloved, listen carefully, there is an instruction hidden inside this message. It is simple, but it is powerful. Stop entertaining what weakens you. That means stop returning to the same pain through memory. Stop reopening old wounds to check if they still hurt. Stop letting people have access to you when they don't respect you. Stop feeding habits that numb you but don't heal you. You have been asking for a miracle while carrying what blocks it. And heaven loves you enough to tell you the truth. You can't carry both your breakthrough and your baggage forever. Choose. My child, my beloved, I want you to imagine this. What if the reason you survived everything you survived is because you are meant to become a doorway for others? Not to be used. Not to be burdened. But to be a testimony. There are people watching you quietly, wondering how you still stand. And heaven is about to turn your story into a light. But first, your heart must believe again. Because testimony is not built by talent, it is built by endurance. And Jesus is begging you not to walk away because your endurance is about to be rewarded with evidence. My beloved, listen carefully, there is an instruction hidden inside this message. It is simple, but it is powerful. Stop entertaining what weakens you. That means stop returning to the same pain through memory. Stop reopening old wounds to check if they still hurt. Stop letting people have access to you when they don't respect you. Stop feeding habits that numb you but don't heal you. You have been asking for a miracle while carrying what blocks it. And heaven loves you enough to tell you the truth. You can't carry both your breakthrough and your baggage forever. Choose. My child, my beloved, I can feel someone reading this with tears. Not dramatic tears, quiet tears. The kind that come when someone finally feels seen. Let those tears fall. They are not weakness. They are cleansing. They are release. They are your spirit exhaling after holding its breath for too long. Jesus is not ashamed of your tears. He is close to the broken-hearted. And today he is begging you not to walk away because your tears are watering the ground where your new life will grow. Yes, grow. Not someday. Not maybe. Grow. My beloved, there is one last thing I must say before you decide what you will do with this message. Heaven is not threatening you with abandonment. Heaven is warning you about disconnection. When you keep walking away from the moments God reaches for you, you train your heart to ignore Him. It becomes harder to hear, not because heaven stopped speaking, but because you stopped listening. So Jesus begs you, not to scare you, but to save you. Come back. Stay. Listen. Let this be the moment you rebuild the habit of hearing God, even if it starts with only 1 minute a day. My child, my beloved, if you are still here reading, that means something inside you chose life. Something inside you chose hope. Something inside you chose to stay. And heaven is smiling at that choice. You don't need to have everything figured out. You only need to take one step. Whisper a simple prayer right now, in your own words, Jesus, I'm here. Speak to me. Guide me. I won't walk away. And as you do, I, Michael, place a shield over your mind. I call peace into your chest. I call courage into your next decision. And I declare this, you will not miss what heaven has for you, because from this moment, you are choosing to stay. My child, my beloved, you said, continue, and heaven heard you like a bell ringing in the unseen world. Do you understand what you just did? You didn't only type a word, you chose to stay. And staying is the first miracle. Staying is the first victory. Staying is the first door. Because so many people walk away right before the moment their life turns. They leave in the final minute. They closed the message at the exact second heaven was about to speak their name. But you stayed. And Jesus is smiling, not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. My beloved, I need to speak to the part of you that has been pretending you're fine. That part that laughs in public and collapses in private. That part that says, "It's okay," while your chest is tight and your mind is racing. Jesus is not fooled by your strength. He honors it, yes, but he also wants to lift it off you. Because you were never meant to be your own savior. You were never meant to carry your life alone like a heavy bag of stones. That is why heaven is begging you. Not because you're failing, but because you're carrying more than you were designed to carry. My child, my beloved, there is something about your life that has made darkness nervous. And you need to hear this without fear. The intensity you faced was not random. It was targeted. Not because you are weak, but because your future is bright. Some of you have wondered why you face more obstacles than others, why your road feels steeper, why your heart feels like it's always being tested. Listen, certain assignments only go to certain souls. And heaven chose you because heaven could trust you. You are stronger than your own doubts. You are deeper than your own pain. You are built with a spiritual backbone you don't even realize you have. My beloved, let's talk about the silence that scared you. You thought heaven left, but what really happened is this: heaven pulled you away from noise so you could learn to recognize the true voice. Because not every voice that feels loud is God. Not every thought that feels urgent is truth. The enemy loves to rush you, panic you, confuse you, and then watch you blame yourself for not hearing God. But Jesus is telling you, "My sheep know my voice." And if you've been struggling to recognize it, it's not because you're broken, it's because you've been surrounded by too many competing sounds. Today, heaven is clearing the room. My child, my beloved, I am Michael, and I am asking you something personal. What have you been tolerating that has been slowly draining your soul? Is it a relationship that keeps you in doubt? A habit that keeps you numb? A job that keeps you empty? A circle that keeps you small? The enemy doesn't always destroy you with one big disaster. Sometimes it destroys you with small compromises repeated daily. But heaven is stepping in now because the season of compromise is ending. You are entering a season of clarity. And clarity will feel uncomfortable at first because it will expose what you got used to. But discomfort is not the same as danger. Sometimes discomfort is healing. My beloved, Jesus is holding something in his hand right now, something you prayed for. But you must understand, he doesn't hand blessings to fear. He hands blessings to faith. That doesn't mean you must never feel afraid. It means you must refuse to be ruled by fear. Faith isn't the absence of fear, faith is the decision to move anyway. And heaven is begging you not to walk away because this is the moment you decide who leads your life, your fear, or your faith. My child, my beloved, I am Michael, and I am asking you something personal. What have you been tolerating that has been slowly draining your soul? Is it a relationship that keeps you in doubt? A habit that keeps you numb? A job that keeps you empty? A circle that keeps you small? The enemy doesn't always destroy you with one big disaster. Sometimes it destroys you with small compromises repeated daily. But heaven is stepping in now because the season of compromise is ending. You are entering a season of clarity. And clarity will feel uncomfortable at first because it will expose what you got used to. But discomfort is not the same as danger. Sometimes discomfort is healing. My beloved, Jesus is holding something in his hand right now, something you prayed for. But you must understand, he doesn't hand blessings to fear. He hands blessings to faith. That doesn't mean you must never feel afraid. It means you must refuse to be ruled by fear. Faith isn't the absence of fear, faith is the decision to move anyway. And heaven is begging you not to walk away because this is the moment you decide who leads your life, your fear, or your faith. My child, my beloved, I want to reveal something. The reason you felt like your life was repeating the same pain is because a lesson was trying to graduate you. Heaven doesn't punish you with repetition. Heaven trains you with it. The same kind of people kept showing up because the same wound kept speaking. The same kind of disappointment kept happening because the same boundary stayed weak. But now, something in you is changing. Your spirit is waking up. Your eyes are opening. And when you change, the patterns break. That's why this message feels so urgent, because you are at the edge of a pattern breaking. Don't walk away at the edge. My beloved, some of you have been carrying a secret shame. A shame that says, I should be further by now. A shame that says, other people are ahead. A shame that says, I wasted time. Listen carefully, heaven does not measure you by the timeline of the crowd. Heaven measures you by obedience. By growth. By truth. Your journey is not late, it is layered. And the layer you are in right now is preparing you to handle the blessing without losing your peace. If heaven gave you everything too early, you might have lost yourself trying to keep it. That is why delays can be mercy. They are not denial, they are preparation. My child, my beloved, I must speak about the thing you've been avoiding, the decision. There is a decision you've been postponing because you don't want to hurt anyone, because you don't want conflict, because you're hoping something changes on its own. But your destiny does not move through avoidance. It moves through decision. Jesus is begging you not to walk away because you are about to be asked to choose. Choose peace over pleasing people, choose truth over comfort, choose obedience over excuses. And when you choose, heaven will back you with power you've never felt before. My beloved, I know you're tired of praying and then getting disappointed. Tired of expecting, then being let down. Tired of hoping, then feeling foolish. But hear me, the enemy is not only trying to stop your blessings. It is trying to stop your belief. Because if it can break your trust, it can delay your future. But Jesus is whispering your name like a tender promise, trust me again. Not because you are naive, but because you are loved. Trust me again, not in people, not in unstable things, but in the one who has never abandoned you even when you felt alone. My child, my beloved, there is something heaven is restoring inside you before it restores things around you. Because if heaven restores things around you while you're still broken inside, you will sabotage the blessing through fear, suspicion, and insecurity. So first, heaven is restoring your identity. your confidence, your spiritual hearing, your ability to love without losing yourself, your ability to say no without guilt, your ability to receive without feeling undeserving. This inner restoration is a miracle too. It is the kind of miracle that doesn't make headlines but changes your entire life. My beloved, I am going to say this plainly, you have been chosen for a different path. That's why you felt out of place in certain rooms. That's why you never fully fit into shallow lifestyles. That's why your heart wanted meaning when others wanted attention. You are not weird. You are not too sensitive. You are not too much. You are awake. An awakening can feel lonely until you realize heaven is your companion. Jesus is begging you not to walk away because the moment you accept your spiritual identity, you stop begging to belong in places that were never meant to hold you. My child, my beloved, let me speak about a hidden warfare, the warfare of delays. Delays can make you doubt God. Delays can make you doubt yourself. Delays can make you accept less than you deserve. That is why delays are dangerous, not because they last, but because of what they whisper. They whisper, settle. They whisper, give up. They whisper, lower your standards. But heaven is speaking louder than the delay now, hold your ground. Because what is coming requires you to remain who you are, not become desperate. Desperation makes people choose shortcuts. And shortcuts always cost more than they promise. My beloved, I want you to notice something, you are still here. You are still reading. That means your spirit is hungry. That means you haven't quit. That means there is hope in you that refused to die. And heaven honors that. Some of you think you have little faith, but little faith that refuses to leave is stronger than big faith that disappears under pressure. Jesus is begging you not to walk away because your staying is building spiritual muscle. Every time you stay, you become more able to hold the blessing. More able to hold peace. More able to hold love. More able to hold abundance without fear. My child, my beloved, let me speak about a hidden warfare, the warfare of delays. Delays can make you doubt God. Delays can make you doubt yourself. Delays can make you accept less than you deserve. That is why delays are dangerous, not because they last, but because of what they whisper. They whisper, settle. They whisper, give up. They whisper, lower your standards. But heaven is speaking louder than the delay now, hold your ground. Because what is coming requires you to remain who you are, not become desperate. Desperation makes people choose shortcuts. And shortcuts always cost more than they promise. My beloved, I want you to notice something, you are still here. You are still reading. That means your spirit is hungry. That means you haven't quit. That means there is hope in you that refused to die. And heaven honors that. Some of you think you have little faith, but little faith that refuses to leave is stronger than big faith that disappears under pressure. Jesus is begging you not to walk away because your staying is building spiritual muscle. Every time you stay, you become more able to hold the blessing. More able to hold peace. More able to hold love. More able to hold abundance without fear. My child, my beloved, I see an opening. Not a vague opening, an actual shift in your atmosphere. It's as if a heavy curtain that has been hanging over your life is being lifted slowly. You will begin to notice small changes first. Your sleep will start to improve, your mind will start to calm, your decisions will become clearer, your energy will return. These are signs that your season is changing. Do not dismiss small signs. Heaven often announces big miracles through small beginnings. A seed does not look like a forest, but it becomes one. My beloved, there is someone listening who has been asking one specific question: God, do you still want me? And Jesus answers immediately, yes. Not a weak yes. Not a hesitant yes. A strong, eternal yes. Heaven does not stop wanting you because you had a hard season. Heaven does not stop wanting you because you made mistakes. Heaven does not stop wanting you because you feel numb. Your numbness is not a deal breaker. It is a signal that you've been overwhelmed. And Jesus is begging you not to walk away because He is ready to melt the numbness with love that feels safe. My child, my beloved, I want you to understand what "never hear from heaven again" truly means in this message. It does not mean God's love ends. It means you can build a habit of ignoring God until your heart becomes too loud to recognize Him. Like a radio turned down too long, you forget the sound. Heaven is warning you because heaven respects your choices. But heaven is also giving you mercy. Today you can turn the volume back up. Today you can rebuild the connection. Today you can say, God, I want to hear you. I want to be led. And when you do, the spiritual channel becomes clear again. My beloved, here is a secret that will protect your future. The voice of Jesus will always produce peace, even when it corrects you. If you hear a voice that produces panic, shame, self-hate, hopelessness, that is not heaven. Heaven convicts with love, not terror. Heaven guides with light, not darkness. The enemy uses fear to control you. Jesus uses love to free you. That is why this message is both urgent and gentle. Because Jesus is begging you, not threatening you. He is calling you back to life. My child, my beloved, I must speak about your next steps. And listen, I am not giving you complicated instructions. Heaven often moves through simplicity. Your next step is to stop feeding what steals your peace. That might mean stepping back from certain people. It might mean changing what you watch. It might mean changing what you listen to. It might mean changing the way you talk to yourself. Because words are seeds. And the garden of your future will grow whatever you keep planting. So plant hope. Plant faith. Plant gratitude. Plant courage. And watch what rises. My beloved, you don't have to do everything today. But you must do one thing today: choose heaven again. Choose prayer again. Choose trust again. Choose obedience again. Not as a performance, but as a return. And when you return, you will feel something you haven't felt in a while: warmth in your spirit. A quiet calm. A sense that you are not alone. That is heaven's presence settling over you like a blanket. My child, my beloved, you're still here, and that is not small. That is the sound of your spirit refusing to be swallowed by heaviness. And Jesus is leaning close again, not with anger, not with disappointment, but with a love that feels like someone finally holding your face and saying, "Look at me. Stay with me." Because the truth is, you have been trying to move forward while parts of you were still bleeding. You've been acting brave while your heart was quietly begging for rest. And heaven is saying, enough. Enough carrying it alone. Enough pretending it doesn't hurt. Enough surviving without being soothed. My beloved, there is a moment in the spirit where heaven draws a line and says, "This is where the cycle ends." And I want you to recognize this moment. This message is not only comfort. It is a spiritual interruption. Something has been repeating in your life, same disappointment, same confusion, same feeling of being almost there but never fully arriving, and you have started to think, maybe this is just my life. But Jesus is begging you because he is about to prove that your life is not a sentence. It is a story. And stories can turn. My child, my beloved, listen carefully. The enemy has tried to train you to expect less. It has tried to make you comfortable with waiting in pain, comfortable with being ignored, comfortable with being the one who always understands while nobody understands you. And if you're honest, you've started to shrink your prayers because you didn't want to be disappointed again. But heaven is not asking you to shrink. Heaven is asking you to return to boldness, soft boldness, humble boldness, but boldness. Jesus is begging you not to walk away because your next blessing will require you to believe bigger than your last disappointment.